Hello everyone, this is Her and Der, also known as Grumpcat. I've just joined a quick match and I'm playing with a mono order deck. I've made a slight couple of changes to this deck to what I used to play before. So what I've changed is I've got 2 copies of Purification in the deck. Purification removes all enchantments from target unit. So I found this quite useful against quite a few resources. First of all, it works well against growth because a lot of people are using Bear Paw and Druidic Power, so it's really good for getting rid of those enchantments. Against Order, works well against Heritage, Crown of Strength, and against Energy, something like Ember Bonds you want to get rid of. So it's working quite well at the moment, and I'm really interested to see how it's going to work in this matchup. This is the first matchup I've actually played against Growth since changing the deck, so we'll see how it goes. So my opponent is playing Growth, and generally when I play Growth, I try to be very defensive. You have to be really aware that Growth has got a lot of cooldown reset, and you pretty much have to imagine that you're going to get hit by everything every single turn, and that's pretty much how you have to play the whole game. You can't take your eye off the ball for one single moment when you play Growth because there's just a ridiculous amount of cooldown reset. So I do also have Flip in this deck. A lot of Growth players tend to play Ancestral Totem and hide them somewhere really annoying, like in the corner, and they think that it's all hidden away and safe, and then you just flip in front of you and kill it, and all is well again. If you're not aware what Ancestral Totem does, it gives all the Growth units +1 attack. So effectively, Ragged Wolves are hitting the field with haste and 2 attack, and Kingfolk Veterans will be hitting the field with hasted 4 attack. Also, the summoned wolves from the Breath of the Wolf will also have 2 attacks. So it's a really dangerous thing for Growth to have an Ancestral Totem on the field. If you see one of those things, you absolutely 100% want to kill it. So at this stage I do have 2 options. I can flip Sister of the Fox in front and kill it, or I can play another Spearman. Now you might think the cleverest thing to do would be to play the Spearman because it's very defensive, or you might want to flip the Sister of the Fox in front because we're aware that he's on 4 growth and therefore he's going to be using her for fertile soil. So as I have got 3 units on the field, I'm actually going to get rid of the Spearman, and I'm going to prevent him from being able to use fertile soil. Fertile soil will let him draw scrolls, and that's something I really don't want him to have. You can already see he's got 5 scrolls in his hand, which is really not good. I don't want him to have that many scrolls, so whatever you can do to slow your opponent down is going to be to your advantage. So I've got quite a strong presence on the field. However, this Spearman's got 3 health, so a Kingfolk Veteran can kill him, as with my other 2 units. Okay, so he's gone and played the Great Wolf. Imperial Resources I can't play because I don't have 7, so I'm going to have to sacrifice the scrolls. So I've got 2 creatures in my hand, and I can either move my units towards this Great Wolf, or I can leave them where they are and set up my other 2 units on the other side. The problem is that if I move these 3 units down 1 on this row with this idol with 9 health, then he can move the Great Wolf up and he could use rallying, and he could kill my unit. So he's got 5 growth, so he would only be able to use rallying and he wouldn't be able to play anything else. So I think it's a little bit risky to move down, but I am going to move these units down, and I'm going to play this other skirmisher up here. He is at risk of a Kingfolk Veteran hitting him, but at the moment the biggest worry I've got is the Great Wolf, so I'm just going to start heading towards him and hopefully something will survive and give me a chance to get rid of that Great Wolf. Generally, a lot of growth players I've seen playing Great Wolves, not so much the Jarls anymore, but those two creatures do both have Relentless, so they are the big worry that you need to think about, especially because the Great Wolf obviously gets buffed by other wolves, so it's really dangerous to have a lot of them on the field, because they will play Sudden Rallying, Crimson Bull, God Hand. Okay, so interestingly, he's splashed Order in his deck, and he's just played Pother. So he'll be able to draw a scroll, and he's also moved my stuff out of the way. So if he plays Rallying now, he'll be able to kill this unit. So I do need to be a bit more careful now because I don't know what Order scrolls he's got. He could have something like Blessing of Haste, which would allow him to attack this turn. He could have Focus. Okay, so he's played Mangy Wolf, which also gives the wolf more attack. So I have to start worrying a bit more now. So we'll get rid of this Mangy Wolf. And I'll be able to deal some damage on the actual wolf itself, which I definitely will do. I'm just going to tuck this guy in here as well so he's nice and safe. And I'm just going to haste him. I'm just going to keep this guy in my hand for now, because I don't know if I need to sacrifice something next turn. I might want to keep the other scroll and play that, and I might want to sacrifice him. He's not particularly useful this turn, so that's why I've decided to keep him in my hand. Also, he's going to be on 6 growth next turn, so if his Great Wolf's going to die, there may be a chance that he will just quake. So I do have to be mindful of a couple of things. Okay, so he's played a Brother of the Wolf. Normally I see growth players playing Brother of the Wolf on the top lane because Brother of the Wolf does have a lot of reach, but he's decided to play it in the middle lane, so he's protecting the Great Wolf pretty much. Okay, so luckily we've drawn Pother, so we'll get rid of him. Oh, and we had Flip as well, that's excellent. I'm actually going to keep this guy tucked away because he's got 4 health, so I'm going to keep him behind the Spearman. And I'm going to play this guy to protect my Skirmisher. And we'll keep Flip in our hand, and we've got an Honourable General as well. So when this row attacks, I can always use Flip and move the Brother of the Wolf in front of this row, and that will destroy him. But it depends what he plays. If he plays another Great Wolf or a Totem, I would have to get rid of them. Also a strong chance he'll use the Kingfolk Veteran to take one of these 2 creatures out, but we'll see what he plays. I'm going to be looking to move up and attack this row if I can. If not, I may just use Flip, but we'll have to see what happens. That's the thing I think I like most about scrolls, is that there's no always one right answer. There are different things you can do, and sometimes it's just fun to play around with them. Okay, so I can either ramp to 6, play my general, I can use Flip, or I can use Pother. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to kill the Brother of the Wolf because he's a much bigger threat. Although it may not seem like he's the biggest threat right now, he actually is quite a big threat. We'll play Pother as well, see if we can draw Blessing of Haste. No dice. I'd rather have the General of Imperial Resources right now. So we'll get to 6. And then next turn we can think about using that. I'm going to move my Skirmisher down and out of the way because there's a chance he could play something that would kill this, and then he can kill my Skirmisher behind if he's got a Kingfolk Veteran. So there's a strong chance that my Skirmisher could have died. So I've just moved him down to prevent this Kingfolk or this Sister of the Fox from having any chance of killing him. Obviously I'm very aware he's splashed Order, and there's a lot of cheap Order scrolls, so I'm very mindful of that at the moment. So even if he pothers me up, at least I'll still be protected. I'm not too sad about this guy if he dies, but if one of my skirmishers die, that's a real problem. So you have to really prioritize your units, especially when you're playing Order, and you have to try and protect them as much as possible. Obviously it's very difficult, especially when you're playing Growth and a lot of creatures have haste. How I deal with growth is you just have to make sure that no creature lives. I mean, it's pretty much the same principle for when you're playing against all resources, but especially when you're playing against growth, you don't want anything to survive at all, because the more creatures they have in the field, the more creatures they'll have when God Hand or Rallying and Crimson Ball come round the corner. And then you can see 2-3 lanes of your creatures wiped out in one turn, and there's no coming back from that, because they'll have 6 or so creatures and all your creatures have just died. Unless you're playing growth and you've got Quake, there's not much chance of coming back from that. Okay, so that's my infantryman gone, which was we kind of predicted that. I'm just gonna Kabonk. Luckily you've drawn another Kabonk, so that's good. I could have obviously Kabonked the Shift of the Fox, but the Kingfolk was the bigger threat. So I'm just gonna keep moving my units up, and attack. So he can use Crimson Ball of Focus or something, use her to take out this guy. I'm hoping he won't be able to take out these 2 creatures. Okay, he's played Fertile Soil, so I really have to be on my toes now. Although he doesn't have more resources than me, he does have much more scrolls than me, giving him a much higher advantage than what I have at the moment. So hopefully I can draw another Spearman, because having a Spearman would be much better than having an exposed general. I don't really have anything to protect my general with at the moment, so it's quite risky to play him. Okay, so he hasn't moved this guy out of the way, so I'm gonna get rid of second general, and I'm just gonna play my general. As I said, unfortunately I don't have anything to protect him with, but at the same time I want to keep my skirmishers alive, so I think this is the best way to deal with it at the moment. And then hopefully next turn I'll be able to play a Spearman or some other form of defense, such as a Waking Stone. At the moment it's getting a bit riskier. He has got 9 scrolls in hand at the moment, so he has got a lot of options. If he does start ramping to more growth, I'm gonna have to start racing him and really make use of this general, because otherwise it will get to the point where I simply won't be able to keep up. Unfortunately, Order just doesn't have the same kind of aggression as growth does. And he's now got 10 scrolls in hand, so I'm kind of thinking he's saving up for something. But I guess he hasn't really got the resources to pull it off, so... Okay, I've got speed. I'm going to keep that in my hand, because that will work well with the general. I could speed and start taking out idols. So if I were to speed, I would take out this and this idol. And in fact, I think I'm going to do that. Just purely because of the fact that I really want to race this guy. I really don't normally just go for idols, but in this case, you know, he didn't protect them, he's got nothing on the field, he's got 10 scrolls in hand, but he's not doing anything with them, so I might as well take advantage of that. If he continues to leave them unattended, then I'm not quite sure what he's doing. Okay, so I was correct in assuming that he was going for the Quake, so I'm just going to use Decimation here, might as well, because I think he's just planning on using removal or some other form of getting rid of my creatures, so he might be playing out a Kingfolk Vet next turn or something, so I'm going to put Awakening Stones here as well, just so I've got a bit more defense. I've got Decimation in hand, should I need it, but we'll see what he plays. If he gets rid of my Spearman, I'll probably move the Skirmisher down and then play Decimation, maybe. But I've got quite a lot of options at the moment. Okay, and he's gone for the second Quake. Unfortunately, Quake while it does kill creatures, it doesn't hurt idols, so his plan of just quaking me to death is not going to work in his favour if that's all he's got. Okay, so I've now got a Spearman, which I'm going to play out. You might have arguably said I should have played the Skirmisher and got the attack in, but as I said, I like to play very defensively. I like to think about how I can lose rather than how I could win, and it's definitely a good thing to keep in mind. He has got 8 scrolls in hand and he's got 7 growth and 1 order. So he does have a lot of options, which is why I'm being very defensive rather than aggressive. I think it's also my play style to be defensive, but obviously I was quite aggressive here in taking out the 2 idols. At the end of the day, I saw the opportunity to go for it and I did, and I think it's really paid off because he's struggling now. Okay, so let's see, that's my general gone. So it's quite lucky that I've been quite defensive here because now I've got the opportunity to sort of claw some of this back. And I can be even more defensive and just keep playing Spearman. I don't want to drop the Skirmisher in case of rallying or something. And I've also got Purification in case he starts playing Druidic Power or Unleashing the Power, anything like that. Anything that's going to give him an advantage, I can take that advantage away. We'll just have to see what he does next. At this point, it looks like his deck's a control deck, which means that when it gets to a certain point, there's just no getting through, if you know what I mean. So I've got 2 idols, but getting the 3rd one's going to be quite a big struggle. And I think I was right in trying to race him and trying to get those 2 idols because that looks like what his deck is about. It's about controlling the field and getting to a point where I won't be able to break through. So I'm playing these spiky units to make it difficult for him to build up a small creature army and take me out that way. Because obviously they'll die when they get hit. So yeah, he's just continually playing these king folks. So let's have a look what we can do. Okay, he's not played any enchantments. Let's get rid of Purification. I have got Pushback and I have got Waking Stones. I do want to be defensive, so Waking Stones, and I want to get a Skirmisher down, and then next turn I'm going to be looking to get a Vanguard. I'm just going to get rid of this creature here because I can. I know that he can always move up and attack this Spearman, but he's spiky, so at least he'll do some damage. And I really want to have this Spearman because I've got Focus in my hand and I've got Pushback in my hand, I've got Vanguard in my hand, so I can really get some good attacking on this idol. But obviously at the same time I want to remain defensive and I don't want to lose the game just because I've gotten greedy and I've started going for the idol when I should be being more defensive. So just because you've taken out 2 idols, don't just sit there and think, oh, you know, I've got this is easy. Because the game can really turn around and it can really get nasty if you're not careful and if you get too arrogant. So if I draw a Kabonk, I'm going to Kabonk these wolves straight away and get rid of them. I've got a feeling he's going to drop a Great Wolf soon. Oh no, he's going to play God Hand. And as you can see, it's already gotten nasty. I've already lost 1 idol. And he can easily take out another one. So let's sack this general. Hopefully I can draw a Kabonk or something. Okay, I've drawn a Decimation. I could use it to damage this row, or this row. It's a really tough decision to make. I think I'm going to use it to take out this row. Arguably, I could have used it on this row. But I decided to use it on him, get the damage on the idol, and I got rid of the Kingfolk Veteran. He can take this bottom idol next turn if he's got another God Hand or something. He's got another creature here, so he could take out this idol as well, so it's a bit dangerous. He's got a lot of scrolls and a lot of resources, so it is a bit touchy at the moment. I may just play this skirmisher here, just to block a little bit, because I'm just a bit concerned. He has got this wolf here, so he could move it up and he could do some other combination. So if he takes out this side and this side of this turn, it's game over, and obviously I really don't want that to happen. Okay, here's the Great Wolf. Oh, and he's got energy. Potion of resistance. Well, thank God I've got pushback in my hand. So next turn I can push back and I can play focus. In which case I will have won, so I hope he's gonna not play anything else, and I hope he's gonna get greedy and go for my idols. He can't really do any cooldown reset. He hasn't got enough resources. Okay, so he's played this wolf, which is a pain because it means that I won't have enough resources. Oh no, wait, yes I do, because I've got speed. Have I got enough? 4, 5, 6, 7. Push that back. Get 1. Speed and focus, and that's GG. So you can see that if I was more aggressive in that game, I definitely would have lost, because I wouldn't have had the chance to get in on this last idol. He would have used God Hand or Rallying or something, and I definitely wouldn't have been able to win. So yeah, the advice really from this game is just always be very careful and very defensive against growth. If they've got any creatures on the field, you need to be very careful. But just stick with it, just play defensively, wait for an opportunity, and just go for it when you've got the chance. So I hope you found this video useful, and thanks for watching. I will also post a deck list of what I was playing in the description, so if you'd like to have a look at what I'm playing, you can do so. Thanks for watching.